There. You're good right there. And everybody stay tight to the rail. Push on that side. Have everybody's attention back this way. This is what we call a column. You can see where the stalactite from the top grew down and the stalagmite from the bottom grew up and they connected in the middle. So these two will continue to drip and build until they connect. It's called a column, and this is Pickett's column. It's the only thing named after the two boys that helped us find this cave, so it is pretty precious to us. But does anybody have an idea why it's so shiny?
People touching it.
Yeah.
Oils.
You already know, my little cavers. 50 years. Well, it's your first time in a cave.
It's his, not mine.
Oh.
I've been here 2 times.
Oh, okay. So yes, it is oils from your human hands deposited into the structure. 50 years worth of oils deposited because it was for good luck. They would rub this column for good luck before crawling another 3 to 4 hours out of this cave. You would have been crawling for 3 to 4 hours before you reached this point, and when you did, there was a boulder here, so the ending point of the tour. When things changed in 1935, a guy by the name George Jeffries joined the tour. George Jeffries worked for the Union Pacific Railroad, so he had the men, he had the tools, he had everything that we needed to have this excavation done. And he only wanted 2 things in return. He wanted his favorite quote, mountain in calcite. He reads dreams of mountains, as in their sleep, they brood on things eternal. It's a beautiful quote, but it has nothing to do about caves. It's about the Grand Canyon, it's not even about Colorado, so. But he wanted it there it is. Second thing that he wanted was for his name to be mentioned on every tour until the end of time. So you're now my choir. I'll take the lead if you could repeat after me. George Jeffries.
George
Jeffries.
That was beautiful. That was the best one I had all day. All right, we are advancing this way.
Yes, adelantas.
You're gonna, to your left, you're gonna see something that looks like popcorn, and we call it cave popcorn. It's botryoid or knobstone. This is from water spooling in, stirring up sediment, and trapping air bubbles underneath. The air bubbles stayed trapped long enough, they began to crystallize. So that's what you're gonna check out. Cave popcorn. Someone once told me it looked like Dippin' Dots, so check out the Dippin' Dots. And in the next room, you're gonna see an opening in the ceiling to your right. It's an opening, don't pass it up. Help everyone out as you see it. Pass it on to the next person so they can check it out too. And whenever you look into that opening, there's flowstone, some more of that snot rock, enriched with iron oxide, fancy name for rust, but it has the, if you use your imaginations at least, you can see the veins, the chambers, the muscles of a real human heart. So we call that Giant's Bleeding Heart. It's my favorite. Help everyone out. There, whatever iPhone did with the night vision thing, we should have just left it alone. You know what I mean? Yes. I don't understand. I mean, yeah, the pictures do come out. I'm actually staying on those. You guys, if that's okay.
Apaga tu flash.
So you know about it?
In Tennessee, there's a cave that has, I think, a chandelier.
Really?
Yeah.
Caves are really cool. Caves do have a lot of cool things. There's another one that has
Well, they brought in an actual
Megalodon.
chandelier,
A
like
real,
from a
like-
giant opera house that they do concerts in there. And it's a big,
that's cool. Which cave was that?
that's Cumberland Caverns.
Oh, yeah. We've been to Cumberland Caverns and Mammoth Cave.
That's cool. Where's that at?
Cumberland is in southeast of Nashville.
The both in Tennessee.
Good to
Mammoth
know.
is in Kentucky.
Because I do want to visit Tennessee soon. That's one thing. I want that to be my next vacation.
It's very fun. It
Yeah.
has everything there.
Smoky Mountains. You're in the Rocky Mountains now.
Yep.
So you would have been crawling for 3 to 4 hours before you reached that room, crawling on your belly. You would have been crawling for 2 to 3 hours before you reached this room, crawling on your belly. For the first 2 to 3 hours, you would have only been staring at the soles of the boots in front of you. But once you reach this room, if you imagine about where my arm is to the ceiling, is what they considered a lot of room for the first time in their tour. They were able to set up, catch a breath, get to know each other, get to know their guide. So hence the name Guide's Rest. This is Guide's Rest. If you look right over here, you're gonna see the ledge. This was the original cave floor. So everything below it was dirt, loose rock, rubble. Caves are actually the natural water filtration, so the water would come into the cave, drop off that dirt and the rocks and things, and then be circulated out. So we came through with all the buckets, all the shovels we could find. We took up all that loose dirt and rock. We pushed it into dead-end corners, pockets that led nowhere, to allow the tours to be walking tours like they are today. No more 8 hours of belly crawling. I paid a whole $1 for that back then, which was equivalent to a full day's wage. All the big bucks, and do you see how inflation works? So that is Guide's Rest. I'm getting ready to move you guys forward. Before we do you have any questions for me?
The heart thing. Where was the heart?
The heart. Oh, right here.
Yeah, right above you.
See the hole.
You want to look into that opening? No problem.
Go with the red light.
Did you get to see it? Want to come check it out?
You saw it? Go with me.
We're gonna give her a chance, and then whenever she's done, we're gonna go and check it out.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I didn't see
it
that
looks like
either.
a real
It's pretty
heart, like a
amazing.
human heart, like a cardiac heart.
Is the light one as we
understand it,
or what's lighting it up?
Oh yeah, it's probably just one of these lights up there, just shining on there.
¿Para qué es eso?
Eso parece un corazón humano.
Vi un hueco.
Pero ve,
No, y hay gente.
So any more questions? Or are we doing good? Perfect. So we're gonna move forward. Watch your heads, or if you're really cool, you can do a little duck and weave. Is that what it's called? Jump in front of you guys, if that's okay.
It's steep, and there's a little bump right here. Be careful. There's stairs right here, okay? Oh yeah. Right there. Stairs. I see them. Steps. Oh, there. And then after this, then there's more steep stuff.
yeah.
This is a cool cave.
Do you guys feel that breeze coming through?
Yeah.
What place?
Yeah, it does feel good. That is the cave breathing. So many holes in the mountain. The air will pull air. Sorry, the cave will pull air in and expel it through different holes in the mountain. This is how it keeps it with the barometric pressure. So year round, it's 54 degrees in this caving system. No matter how hot or cold it is outside, it feels amazing in here. We're headed up some stairs. They're steep, they're narrow. So please take your time and use your handrails.
Oh.
Ay, gracias.
I'm gonna go down there. Oh, no, we're coming up right here. Steep. The tiny stairs. To the rail. Yeah, they're tiny stairs, so yeah, tinier than you can. The about as long as my foot. Yeah, they can swallow and small.
I have not spent the night yet, but from what I heard, it gets cold, like freezing in here at night. I can see that. Actually, I think next month will be my first month sleeping in the cave. I have a couple Girl Scouts scheduled, so I'm excited for it. They said you'll be excited for the first 2 nights, and then after that, you don't want to sleep in the cave.
This is a nice cave. It's very friendly.
Friendly cave.
It's a nice cave.
How's everybody feeling?
Outstanding.
The best.
Most of us are pretty silent. I'm glad you feel great. But we also named this room Temple of Silence because there's stairs. And yeah, by the time we finish, we're too out of breath all the conversation. But in this room, we are also standing at 7,000 feet above elevation. This makes us the second highest commercialized cave in North America. The first is Glenwood Caverns in Glenwood Springs, Colorado. I believe they beat us by about 40 feet. But whenever you got in here, did you smell that earthy, watery smell? A little bit. Well, we have a little bit of organics. Smells like mud, kinda. If I were able to take you guys up to the very back corner of this room, you would see tree roots growing in.
Wow.
This leads us to believe that we're about 20 odd feet from the surface, from Earth's surface, to see those tree roots growing in. That row of stalactites you see wrapping around the room reminds us of the mouth of a shark taking a bite out of the cave, so we call that jaws. I'm gonna flip a switch. If you're into taking pictures, now would be a good time. I'm gonna point out a few formations, and then we're gonna head back down those stairs. Have any of you ever been to Pisa?
Yes.
The Leaning Tower of Pisa. And for those of you that haven't, I just saved your trip to Italy. You're welcome.
That was awesome. Yeah.
You're welcome. Right at Pisa, we have E.T. Well, orange. E.T. still trying to phone home. Your friend, he's stuck. Grab into the far right of the room. You're gonna see a column, another column, but this one is broken. It was broken whenever we discovered the room in 1929, so we're not exactly sure what happened to it. But based on the debris in the rest of the room, we believe a mudslide came through, forcing those two apart. All we know is they'll never touch again, so we named them Romeo and Juliet. Straight ahead over here, following my shadow finger right in front of you. I'm gonna take my flashlight away so you can see it glows. So right there. That number 7 is a helictite. It's a formation that grows sloped or horizontally. What we believe happened is the water started dripping, leaving the deposits like a regular stalactite. Like I have explained, the cave breathes. So what we believe is that the wind came through, pushed the water to the side, had the minerals deposit sideways or horizontally until it calmed back down, allowing it to drip down like a stalactite. So any sloped or horizontal formation, helictite. And over this way, on top of the ceiling, right over here, this funny looking piece kind of looks like a curtain. It's a ribbon stalactite, or we do call it a drapery. And same concept, that water leaving behind minerals. But this one was on a slope surface, so something like washing your dishes, washing your hands. You lift your arm and that water goes running down. It's exactly what this did. On the slope surface, the water went running down and for a long period of time followed the same pattern, leaving those minerals behind, building up this failure of them. Does it remind you of anything your mom might make for breakfast?
Bacon.
Bacon. That is
No,
cave bacon. Bacon, bacon, bacon. This is the largest piece of cave bacon we've got. He's 4 foot long, 1 foot wide. Pretty old.
That would be delicious.
Is everybody feeling okay? Yes. Perfect. We're gonna head back down those stairs now. Here's the deal with the stairs. They're almost steeper going down than they were coming up, so especially take your time. Use your handrails.
Ahora al
Oh, that
revés.
looks like a gun.
It is?
Yeah.
Well, cool. I don't know if that has a special name though.
Ahora nosotros somos pequeños. Seguimos de ellos.
Like the stalactite, whatever.
Pretty cool.
Okay.
El aire está así.
¿El aire es natural o...? Natural. ¿Y de dónde entra?
Del trabajo, del hueco.
Pero está bien ventilado y está frío.
El aire siempre busca por dónde salir.
Oh man, I haven't watched this since I was so young, and I do remember being pretty freaky. We're gonna take a left, and whenever you do, you're gonna see a very shiny piece to your right. This is banded travertine or cave onyx. It's flowstone that we have cut and creasy, the different layers in it. You're welcome to touch it. You're not required to. It's all up to you. But going down the next passageway, we're gonna pass 2 more formations. I want you to check out so I can go into depth about their growth in the next room with you. And first, our soda straw nursery. Our soda straws are the little baby stalactites of our cave. They're babies, but they're really old babies. They just started to form about 4,000 years ago. They're old. And past that, we're gonna come to the white beaded anthracite. You already heard that name whenever we talk about that gargoyle, white beaded anthracite, so check it out. Grows in many different formations. Some of it clings tight to the ceiling like fiberglass and has the same effect, so if leaking on touch it. Some of it looks more like ginger. I'll let you guess the other one. I'm not gonna give it away. We're having this one. What'd you say?
Acá las gorditas no entran, ¿eh?
You can see how the different layers in there, see that? Yeah, you can touch that one.
It's like ice, right? Feels like ice if it wasn't cold.
Ahí hay una bajada casi.
Oh, what is that?
Ey, míralo, mírala a tu papá, mírala a tu papá, mira, 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 mira. Ay, papá. Wow.
Beautiful.
Oh, no. Wow. Mira todo. Oh, qué hermoso. Wow, todos son cavernas. Cuevas. Mira acá. Acá mira.
White beaded anthracite.
Amphitrite.
Aquí mira esas formas. Oh, arriba mira.
What is this stuff up here?
Mira arriba.
That's
A ver. ¿Sabes que se ve la figura de un dinosaurio? Todos son las rocas. Wow. Wow. Cuidado.
Oh, look. Those just started to form like a foot down.
Mira, Hani, ¿viste esto? Pero son pequeñitos. Wow.
You know. Wow. This is.
And then you have to hurry up to my door. Yeah, look at these other little shells crushed up in the wall. There's one more right there. So that really seals the deal for you that we are in that ancient ocean bed, as I mentioned at the very beginning of our tour. I will take you guys down this dark passageway, if everyone's comfortable with it, of course. Before I do, we're going to talk about... He's gone. No, my last tour did that to me. I was in the middle of talking, I turned around and they all had their lights on down there. I was like, okay, well, you know. All right, just take a couple more steps for me that way, okay? Just a couple more. Beautiful. Golden. We got some more beautiful pieces of that white beaded anthracite right up here. So this is white beaded anthracite. This is also white beaded anthracite. And that's calcite. But it grows in many different formations. And we're not exactly sure why, but scientists recently discovered microorganisms living on there. So little tiny organisms naked to the human eye, we can't see it, but it potentially has something to do with the growth. And until we learn further, it's kind of just a beautiful mystery. That is cave coral. And the little soda straws we talked about, the little ones that you just saw, the baby stalactites, the drops of water, whenever it falls, it leaves behind a ring of minerals. So if you imagine me stacking Cheerios on top of Cheerios on top of Cheerios, it starts off with a hollow center, so that's why we call them soda straws. Once the center chokes up with minerals, the minerals then begin building on the outside, giving us that adult stalactite that we're used to seeing. So anyways,
Puede haber cambios en esto.
anywhere from 800 to 1,000 years. For the size of your thumbnail, they're pretty
Puede
old.
haber cambios
I'm
en
gonna take you
estos,
guys down
o
here
sea,
so we can
si hay
experience
aguas
complete
así
cave
que
darkness. It's gonna
entran.
get very,
Puede
very
haber
dark
cambios
for
acá.
about 10 or 15 seconds, maybe 20 because I like to talk way too much. But we're gonna head back there. If you are, do you have your, yes, cell phone. Can you turn the flashlight on? Sure. Thank you. It's assistant tour guide. Just because once I cut the corner with my flashlight, it's not gonna do you guys in the back any justice. I'm gonna take you guys back there. It's gonna get very, very dark. We're gonna experience that cave darkness, but if you're not comfortable with it, you're more than welcome to hang out in this room, and we'll be right back out to get you. Everybody's good? Yes. Well, check it out. This is what they were given on those earlier tours. Bucket lantern. This is almost a perfect replica of it. This is a real fire. It's real hot. Well, watch your heads. We'll turn left, left, right, one, two, three. It's not very much movement, right?
Ahí estoy tomando foto.
I know, right? I'm surprised that happened. This passage.
You go ahead and turn that light off for me. Everybody's feet in place. If you do have any art, including watches, if you have a watch, if you could cover that watch for me. On those earlier tours, this is all that they were given. One lumen of light. This is also all you're given on that haunted lantern tour where I take you through and tell you the dark history. Scary stories. Ooh.
I like it.
Those two boys that helped us find this cave came in with only a candle. The wind's picked up in. Leave it alone. This is complete cave darkness. I see a light though. I think somebody's phone's on in their pocket. There's not another place on earth you could reach this amount of darkness unless you headed down to the bottom of the sea, the midnight zone of the Mariana Trench. This is not the dark. Yeah, I don't know. Actually, close your eyes and reopen them. You can see that there is no difference. And your eyes would never adjust in the midst of the darkness. No, actually, 10, 15, maybe 30 for the strong-willed, you would start to hallucinate. Your mind would start playing tricks with you, what they last saw, whether that be formations, an exit, a light, anything. And it's your mind playing tricks when you try to help you find your way out of here.
Let's do that. Yeah.
No free trips, that's okay. No free trips.